all my friends, like, I had a crew of brown girls, and we were just like brown for life, like Punjabi pride, and we were really like into being brown, but you didn't want to be a dipper. You want to be just brown enough that you're cool, you know?
But then you do struggle with it because you're struggling to be not like your parents, because that's too much, but you also can't be too far off.
Yeah, you need to be cool still.
You have to be somewhere in the middle. It's like you have to have the best of both worlds.
Yeah.
So you did feel proud to be Indian.
I was proud to be Indian, but I couldn't be, like, we only could know so much Punjabi. You could only listen to specific Punjabi songs, right? Like, it was cool to be Punjabi to a certain degree.
And who was making those comments? Like, who would decide if it was a little too far?
I think it was just like self-judgment, maybe. Like, so nowadays, like, the dippers in, like, you know who I'm referring to when I say dippers, right? Like, fresh off the boat people. I guess fresh off the plane. Fresh off the plane. When they, like, nowadays, the students that come, they're dressed like us. They look like us. The only way you can even tell that they're different is maybe their accent, or they might sound a little funny, right? For the most part, they're like us. But back in the day, you remember, like, the dippers that used to be at school, they were like our parent dippers, like long guttan, like eyebrows not done, facial hair everywhere, like they smelled, they could barely speak English, like we didn't want to be associated with them, so we needed to be just Punjabi enough and just like
brown enough. But that's because that was, we didn't want to be like that because it was made.
She talked to you.
Like, we're doing interviews.
So she's not gonna shut up.
She'll be fine. We only thought that was bad because it's people, like, the privileged people who made it seem like that stuff is bad. Like, long guttan bad. You know what I mean? It's like a fobby thing. It's not cool to have the guttan.
I don't know who decided that, though.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, we
who
thought it was
decided
bad.
The dippers were bad. Because I always noticed, like, people, like...
This week probably because, like, everybody around us...
I always wonder this because, like, Italians and, like, Greek people would be like, oh, I went to Greece, or I went to Italy, and I met this man, and I'm like... Or even with the Filipino people. I had Filipino friends who'd be like, hey, that guy's, like, he just got here a couple of years ago, and they're, like, dating, and they're so cool. And I'm like, we would
so
never...
there was, like, the, quote, fobs from the other countries, but they were accepted and cool?
Within their groups. So if there's, like, Italians from Italy, or, like, people who are Greek from Greece, and, like, Filipinos from the Philippines, they were accepted even if they had only been in Canada for, like, a year or two. But us, we stayed the hell away from the dippers. We were like, we can't be associated with them.
What would that mean if you were...
That we were like them. Like, just we wouldn't be as cool.
Right.
Yeah.
That's really interesting.
Yeah.
That the other ethnicities and the other cultures, their immigrants were socially accepted and encouraged and celebrated.
Yeah. I guess
even
there's less of, like, a difference between them, right? Like, I remember one of my friends, Roseanne, she was dating a guy who was from the Philippines. Like, she was Filipino. He'd only been here, like, 2 years. But you couldn't tell because they all spoke Filipino. It was a cool thing to, like, speak or Tagalog to each other. And they dressed really similar. There wasn't, like, this vast difference in the way they dressed, or anything like that. Maybe today, like, the dippers are accepted more because they dress more similar. And
I think they said to themselves they're cliques. But I don't know what it is with us. I don't know, like, why we feel like we have to, like, change who we are all the time. Like, we can't be associated. Like, we can, but, like, not too much, like you said.
Yeah, just brown enough.
Just brown enough.
Yeah.
Or you're like,
I'm probably gonna literally quote that and use that, just brown enough. That's pretty good. So, how have all these experiences impacted you? We touched a little bit on identity.
Yeah.
We touched a little bit on dating.
Yeah.
Okay. She's like, my turn to talk.
Okay. You tell them about your experiences. Because you're already experiencing it, right? People are already
Oh, actually, that's a great point. Tell me some of Sonia's experiences. She's only been on this earth for a couple months.
Tell them how awesome people are.
So you tell them.
About how people make comments about her skin already? Yeah. People already, like, I don't want to...
You tell us.
So, maybe we can tell you. But yeah.
Just like, you know, like, oh, is she bucky? Like, who does she look like? Things like that, right?
Yeah.
And people will say, be like, oh, like, her skin is, like, bucky. And it's like, well, what did you think her skin was going to look like? Have you seen her mother and her father?
Yeah.
Did you think she was going to come out like a white baby?
It's like we've come so far, but we haven't come so far.
Yeah.
Why does that matter?
Right? And people will be like, wait, no, I'm soft, what you got?
Even Nobi last night was. This is what I was telling you, she's annoying. So last night on the phone, she's just like talking. She's like, oh my god, that last picture that Kaser that Anther put up, and she's like, oh my god, he just looks so cute. You just want to take him out of the thing. And I was like, okay. And then she's like, Saba just looks like South Indian. No, she just doesn't. Like, and what does South Indian? What does that even mean or matter? She's like, he just looks like more Indian. And I was like, okay.
Like more
just because
like
he's lighter skin.
He means that he looks more like skin.
Yeah, that's all she meant to say, and I was like, okay. I'm like, well, she actually looks just like her dad.
What's the impact of all this focus on tone and nose length and arm hair? What happens?
It makes you insecure.
Yeah.
It instills like a lot of insecurities, and you feel like you have to like change yourself, right? And then we're like, waxing our arms.
It devalues you.
Yeah, it devalues you for sure. You're using like weak skin products to like
What's that? Fair and Lovely?
No, the Jolene or whatever.
Oh,
just trying
bleach?
to get your like bleach your skin.
Move her thing. She's trying to eat it. She's usually like calm. I don't know why you keep shaking her.
She's not calm.
She looks like she's in playtime mode.
She is in playtime mode, and Sabrina's
Okay,
like
we'll
not
wrap
playing.
this up.
Well, we have to do an interview. I'm not.
We can bomb through the last bit of questions here. So, okay, this is actually a really important question. We'll bomb through this one.
You're good for me.
Let's say a person realized what they said was hurtful. Let's say the woman at work for the 4th time now asks you, are you going to get an arranged marriage? And then she kind of realized that she was like, wait, let's say these people become educated on this topic. What should they do in that moment?
Apologize. Be like, I'm sorry. Like, my question was maybe like offensive.
Or just be like, hey, am I offending you? Like, some people might not be offended. Whereas for the 4th time, I'm going to be offended. Stop asking me this stupid question.
Have you ever said it and be like,
No.
I think you should say something and be like, I understand that your belief is that all Indians get arranged marriages, but they don't. And that thought process or that idea is, I know you don't mean to sound racist, and you're probably thinking that you are making an educated guess, but it's coming off as racist.
Yeah. I don't know if I will do that, because it's easier to just go to work and not deal with people. You know what I mean? Like, you see these people all the time. I don't want to make shit awkward.
But it's not going to make it awkward. Informing someone that they're being racist, like, I think you have to tell people, how do they know that they're being ignorant? We're just sitting here being angry and not doing anything about it. They're not going to, like, become informed unless we inform them. Hey, that's inappropriate to say, just so you know. It makes me uncomfortable.
Yeah. So if they were, I think just asking, like, hey, am I offending you? Or, sorry, did I just offend you by asking you that question?
So seek permission.
Yeah, seek permission.
But they don't know to seek permission. That's what I'm saying. You have to call them out on it.
But she's saying, like, if they had
yeah.
recently been educated on the topic.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, you like this position, alright.
I'm sorry. I wanted to, like, just to help add to your the information you have.
Mm-hmm.
Like in Langley, now that I moved to Langley, I've never lived in a place with white people.
Right.
And everyone's always been informed about everything. Like Indian weddings, when you grow up in East Vancouver, everybody knows about Indian weddings. It's not something that's like, oh,
It's
like
a mystery.
Yeah, like what's gonna happen? How many people are there? So when I would discuss it with people here, they'd be like, you're gonna have how many people at your wedding? Oh, are you gonna have henna on? Are you gonna put henna on? Are you gonna wear, like, what do you wear to your wedding? Like, just, they're asking, I don't know, I feel bad because they are kind of inquisitive, because we're these creatures they've never really had any experience with. But it's just
creatures.
Yeah, but it's like, why is it just, like, when I ask them in return, like, oh, what's your wedding gonna be like? Oh, just like a normal wedding in a church. Why is your wedding normal?
Good point.
Why is it that or if I ask a question about, like, I've never been to a white wedding in a church, right? So why is it when I ask questions about your wedding, like, oh, like, what happens? How is, like, the ceremony work? Who does this? Who does that? Why am I getting eyebrows raised at me? Like, I should just know, because I'm Canadian, I should just know what the Christian and white weddings are like. But when you ask me, you're innocent.
Like, there's so much shame around not knowing what a white Christian wedding is.
Yeah.
But it's just curiosity and polite conversation when someone's interrogating you about an Indian wedding.
Yeah, asking me if I'm getting henna done. Like, that's all they know, yeah.
What does it make you feel like?
It makes me feel uncomfortable and, like, I don't like to have to explain my culture. I don't know, that was like,
It
me
is
and Linda and I
uncomfortable.
discuss this all the time about how we hate having to explain our culture to people. Like, that's what we love about our relationship, is that we just get one another because our culture